Hey guys, Sak here from SAKITECH, and in today's video I'm going to be sharing 50 plus amazing tips and tricks to customize your Samsung Galaxy S23 Ultra and squeeze out the maximum ownership benefits out of it. This is a fantastic phone, so let's dive in and get started right away. And of course the links are going to be down below to buy the Samsung Galaxy S23 Ultra at the lowest pricing and the best incentives. Links down below. Let's move on. Alright, so the very first thing I want you guys to do is go to the settings, alrighty, and then scroll all the way down and go to About Phone, and you want to quickly make sure that you give your phone a proper name. So by default, it's going to look something like this. What you want to do is tap on Edit and then give your phone a name. The important thing with this step is the fact that once you change the name of your phone, first of all, it's going to be personalized to you. But then if you're doing anything with your phone via Bluetooth, Wi-Fi, this is the name that's going to appear, and it's going to make it easy to recognize the phone. So I'm just going to say, in my case, S23 Ultra. So now, anytime I connect this to a Bluetooth device or do a Wi-Fi connection or trying to share files with other Samsung users, this is the name that's going to appear, and I know exactly what's going on. So tap that, Saki S23 Ultra. And one more cool thing is, if you have a white phone or a black phone, you're going to see that image right here, which is pretty cool. So this one happens to be a white/cream phone, and you can see that being reflected on the icon right here. So that's a nice little touch. Alright, let's move on. Alright, the next thing I want to talk about has to do with the home screen. So normally when you want to go to your app drawer, you can simply pull up from the screen like this, and it goes to the app drawer. Now here's the problem. When you swipe down, it also goes to the app drawer. So that's redundant. I'm going to show you how to change what happens when you swipe down. So press and hold on the screen, tap on the settings. Go all the way down and look for this option. Swipe down for notification panel. So when I enable this, now when I go out, look at this. When I swipe up, goes to the app drawer, which is great. But when I swipe down, this time it brings down the notifications panel. I can swipe down one more time and it gives me all my quick toggles right here. And while we are here, when you tap this button here, you are able to make some modifications to the status bar on the top. So if I tap on status bar, look at what I can do here. I can tap on this, for example, and I can disable the battery percentage indicator, which personally I prefer, so I enable that. But I can also tap over here and I can change what notifications will appear on the top over here on the left side. So I can do none, and that makes sure this area just remains nice and clean. Or you can just show number of notifications. So that's one notification right now. Or you can do show me the 3 most recent notifications. So what's going to happen is if you have more than one notification, you're going to see 3 icons as opposed to just the number 3 when you just say number of notifications. Or you can just do all, and this is going to be fully crowded all the way to the punch hole cutout. So that's one thing you can do on the top as well. So let's do that. Let's just do number for now and move on to the next tactic. The next thing I like to do is I like to customize my side key, which is right over here. This is very important because you can customize this key to do a lot of things. By default, when you press this, it turns off the phone. When you press it again, turns on the phone. But now we can add additional functionality to the side key. Let me show you how to do that. Settings, Advanced Features, Side Key, and look at the options. I can double press this side key to take certain actions. The first available action, if I enable this, is if I double tap, it is going to launch the camera. Most people like that. However, you can also open an application. So I can do the calculator application. So now when I double tap, it is just going to launch that application that you like to use all the time. But there's one more super cool thing here that you can do. With this option here, instead of opening an application, you can actually activate your flashlight. So if I choose this option, look at what happens. Double tap, flashlight on. Okay, so this is going to be great for nighttime. So for example, if you are coming to your house and it's dark and you're trying to find that keyhole, but you can't see it, double tap, boom, you got that light. Okay, then double tap to turn it off. So it's a great little flashlight option you can set with the side key. The other thing you can do with the side key is if you press and hold, it just launches Bixby. Now, I don't use Bixby. If you want to use it, that's great. But the other option is you can do this, and then when you press and hold, it just brings the power menu from where you can turn off, restart, let me press and hold, or do an emergency call, as you can see. Fantastic, let's move on. Other things I like to set up with my phone before I start to use it is to enable double tap to turn off, double tap to turn on. Okay, now by default, these may be turned off. So what you do is you go to your settings, and then you go into advanced features, and under advanced features you go to motions and gestures, and you want to make sure that you double tap to turn on screen and double tap to turn off the screen is in fact enabled. And on top of that, I like to enable lift to wake as well. So when the phone is turned on, let's say you're doing something and you want to quickly glance at what's going on, of course you can double tap to look at it if you want, or you can just pick it up and that's going to lift to wake. It's going to wake up the screen. You can look at it, put it down and move on, and it's going to turn off by itself. So that's the lift to wake feature. And then finally, under these settings, here's one of my favorite features, mute with gestures. So if I'm getting an incoming call, let's say the phone rings right now, I can either tap on the decline or whatever, but if I don't want to tap on decline, I just want to mute the incoming call, I can just grab the phone and put it on the table like this, and that's going to mute that call. In fact, even if you have an alarm, instead of snoozing that alarm, you can mute it just by putting the phone backwards like this. So that's the option with mute with gestures. You can also mute the phone by putting your hand over the screen like this. It's going to sense your hand and it's going to mute the phone call or the alarm or any other notification that is screaming at you. Now the next thing has to do with the recents app area. So when I pull up my recent apps, if I bring this up, this area, what's going to happen is at the bottom you're going to see 4 applications that are suggested to you based on how often you use certain applications. Now, if you don't want this here and you want a cleaner look, you can tap on this button here, go into the settings, and you can actually disable the recommended apps. So now, when I pull this up, I'm not going to have the recommended apps at the bottom. It gives me a little bit cleaner look, as you can see. So that's that. S Pen has a lot of features, but here's one of my favorites. So let's say you want to go to the calendar application. It has to do with the calendar application. So let me launch the application real quick. Calendar. Okay. And look at what you can do over here. I can grab my S Pen, and when you're in the calendar, make sure you are in the expanded view like this. Then you tap on the pen icon right here, and you're able to write on the calendar right away as if you were writing on a piece of paper. You can even zoom in so you can see even more detail and write precisely your plans for that exact day. And then you can exit out when you're done. You can change colors from here. As you can see, I can have different colors. So I can color code my entries with my own handwriting. And the good thing is when you save this stuff, let's just exit the calendar real quick and go back in there to the calendar application. It is going to show up there as if it was a paper calendar. And by the way, if you tap this, then you can start to zoom in. All right? And you can start to edit and do whatever. Fantastic feature. Love it. Let's move on. Now there's an extremely useful widget that you can use if you press and hold on the screen, and if you tap on widgets, there's 2 widgets I want you guys to use. The first one is going to be the smart suggestions. So this is a smart widget. When you grab this and dump it anywhere on the screen, okay, what's going to happen is tap to turn on the smart widgets. Let's just go like this. Tap on OK, go back out. What the phone is going to do, it is going to continually suggest apps to you based on your usage and also based on the context. So right now it knows these are the apps I've been playing with a lot. So it is recommending them. This is going to be a dynamic app tray. So very useful to have it just in case for quick accessing applications that you use all the time. The other widget you want to dump onto this screen is this one right here. Tap on widgets, and that's the battery widget. So if you have additional accessories like your phone, your watch, and your Galaxy Buds, you can track the battery of all those guys right here. Okay. Now in my case, it's not going to show up everything, but it does show me the S23 Ultra's battery, which is the phone itself. Shows me the battery level of the S Pen, and if I did have Galaxy Buds active, they would show up right here, as well as my Galaxy Watch. So nice way to fill your screen with some useful information. The final thing I would add onto the screen is this one right here. Again, pinch the screen or press and hold, go to widgets, all the way down somewhere. Let me look for this thing, maybe not all the way down. In the middle somewhere we have device care. I tap on this guy and I grab one of these guys and I put them on the top. Now I got perfect trio of widgets. As you can see, this gives me a snapshot of my current storage use, my current memory use, and if I tap on this button, it actually cleans up and refreshes my phone, optimizes my phone, frees up some memory, and makes my phone run faster. So having these widgets is going to be very nice to have, and you can just hide it on a screen on the side. Alright, so the next thing that you want to do is you want to make sure that your brand new phone has a healthy battery. So what you can do is you can go to your settings, and then you want to scroll down to your battery and device care, and then scroll down just a little bit more, and there's going to be a menu here known as the diagnostics menu. You click on this menu, it's going to take you to the Samsung Members Applications Diagnostics menu. And what you want to do is you want to scroll down and you want to find the Battery Status Diagnostics Test. You click on this guy. What it's going to do, it's going to run a quick test, and it's going to make sure the brand new battery in your brand new phone is in fact in normal working status. You can see it says normal, life, it's supposed to say good. It gives you the capacity. If you see anything other than normal or good here, then what you want to do is you want to return that phone and get a replacement, because if the battery is bad from the very beginning, you're looking at a defective phone. Alright, so that's always the first thing I check with my new phones. Now let's move on and talk about the next tactic. Your Samsung Galaxy S23 Ultra is going to have a gorgeous screen. You're going to be watching movies, looking at high resolution photos. So let's set it up so you get the best and most clear image possible. First thing I'm going to show you guys is how to get the best out of videos. So go to the settings and then scroll down and find advanced features. Once you find advanced features, you want to scroll down a little bit more, and you're going to have this option here that says video brightness. You click on it, you're going to have an option. You have the normal option and the bright option. This is great for watching certain movies at the highest quality. So what you can do is you can actually select the bright option. Once you select the bright option, it's going to allow you to enable that feature for particular applications on your phone. So for example, let's say you're going to watch a movie on HBO Max. You can enable this feature for HBO Max application. You can do it for YouTube application, Crunchyroll. In fact, whatever you install on your phone is going to appear here as long as it is supported to use this great feature. So you choose bright, and what happens is when you go into any one of those applications to watch a movie, it is going to make sure that the screen temporarily increases the brightness and also makes the colors more vibrant as you watch videos, which is going to give you exceptional quality as you're watching movies or high definition videos. The next thing you want to do is, again, the phone has fantastic stereo speakers. So what you want to do is you want to go to sounds and vibration, okay? You want to scroll down and you want to go to sound quality and effects. Once you go inside here, you want to make sure you enable Dolby Atmos. Okay, you can enable or disable. Now when you go inside, here's where you can pick auto, movie, music, or voice. So if you want to use the Dolby Atmos experience, which gives you like a surround sound-like experience on your phone, you can enable this setting. Again, it's going to be great for watching movies and even playing games. So from here, you can pick exactly where you want this to apply to, or if you want it to apply to all three settings, you can choose auto and the phone will pick it for you and enable Dolby Atmos as you are doing one of these things: voice, music, movie, whatever. Now when you go back, you also want to make sure that you enable Dolby Atmos for gaming, and it tells you right here that's going to get you realistic Dolby Atmos sound automatically when you launch and play a game. Okay, so fantastic settings. Now going back into the display, one more thing you want to set up for maximum display clarity is going to be when you scroll down, you want to go into the screen resolution and you want to go for high definition WQHD+. That's going to give you the sharpest resolution, and the good news is the S23 Ultra's battery has significantly improved. So you can actually run your phone on the maximum brightness and still get a solid day of battery after charging your phone. So in the past, I usually kept it right here, but now with the S23 Ultra, I can have it here and not worry about the battery life. Tap and apply and forget about it. You're good to go. Now, one more important thing to set up is going to be right over here, and that's your brightness settings. So you have an option to set up adaptive brightness. When you set up adaptive brightness based on ambient lighting, whether you're in the house or outside, this dial is going to go up and down automatically to get the perfect brightness for you. In my case, I like to set it up manually. I just disable this and I put this in the middle, and then I can tweak it as I please when I'm outside or when I'm inside, simply by pulling down the notifications panel twice and just tweaking it right here as necessary. Now on top of that, if you spend a lot of time outdoors with your phone, you also want to enable this feature known as extra brightness feature. This goes even beyond the maximum brightness and gives you additional brightness for daytime, outdoors, under sunlight, so you can see your phone clearly, even under direct sunlight. Now let me show you what I'm talking about. So if you enable this, you see there was a quick boost in brightness. But if you bring this to maximum brightness, the phone is going to be pretty bright. But if you enable this, it even gives you an additional boost of brightness for even clearer outdoor performance. Okay, just keep that in mind. And again, you don't have to have this enabled all the time. You can just have it disabled and enable it as you see fit. Now, it is not always convenient to come into this menu to enable this. So what you can also do to quickly access this is pull this notifications panel down. If you're in the home screen, pull the notifications panel down and just tap right here, and you are able to access extra brightness option right here to get that quick boost anytime you please. So that's fantastic. Let's move on. Now the next thing you want to do is you want to set up the navigation options for your phone. Right now you can see that I have the gesture navigation options. So if I launch an application or go into my settings and I want to go home, I simply swipe up. It just puts me back home. And if I want to bring up my recent applications, I swipe from the bottom, hold, and all the recent apps show up right here, and I can swipe them away or whatever, as you can see. This is a gesture-based navigation. Now, some people prefer to have buttons. So what you can do is you can go to display, you can scroll down, okay, and you go to navigation bar. Again, these are settings you set and forget, so you get the best experience for yourself. So in this case, I can have the buttons. Now I have actual physical buttons here. I don't have to swipe. I just tap and boom, boom, I'm good to go. As you can see, that's home. That's to bring up the recent apps. And this button allows me to go back in any screen that I'm in. So that's the navigation bar. You can choose buttons or swipe gestures. Now with the swipe gestures, if you want to go back, you have to actually swipe back like this, as you can see. Okay? You can also enable a gesture hint. That's this bar over here. But if you don't care about that, you can enable this, disable this, and that gesture hint disappears, giving you even a more totally immersed view with no buttons, no gesture hints. You just swipe up and everything just works. The buttons used to work very good for me previously, but the swipe gestures have become much better, so now I actually use them. So that's it. So let's keep it at buttons for the rest of the video so you can see how it works. So I'm going to go home. Now when it comes to the home screen, there's a couple things you can do here that are very important. Normally you pinch the screen and you go to the settings and you have a whole bunch of home screen settings. What I like to do is I like to set my grid. So we have a home screen grid and an app screen grid. With the home screen grid, I have a 5x5. So look at this, tap. What I can basically do is I can have 5 apps this way and 5 apps this way. But if you want to add even more apps onto your home screen, you can do a 5x6. Now what I can do is I can have 6 rows and 5 columns. So I can even add more applications. I can have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 rows of applications. I like the 5x5. It's nice and balanced, and you also get a nice preview. If you want even bigger apps, you can do 4x5, and now you can fit less, but the apps will look bigger. So 5x5 is the way to go for me. That's one thing. One more super trick for your home screen is the ability to modify it and customize it. Now look at this. If I want to move all these applications from one screen to the other, all I do is I press and hold, I tap on select, and I select the ones that I want to move. Let's just say I want to move these 5. Then I press and hold. They get grouped together, and I can just slide it over, dump it right there, and they just sit down, as you can see. That was very easy instead of having to do one by one, which is a pain in the ass, and it takes time. So let me show that one more time. Press, select, selects the one that you want to use, press and hold. Boom. That was super easy. I don't think any other phone other than Samsung phones can do this. Now, one more thing that's really going to enhance your ownership is, again, to customize your phone. And what I like to do is I like to add powerful video wallpapers on the lock screen, just like the one that you're seeing in the background. So look at this. This is just one example. So if you want to have beautiful video wallpapers, so if you want to have some gorgeous video wallpapers on your lock screen, what you can do is pinch the screen, tap on themes, okay, and that's going to take you to the Galaxy Wallpapers store. At the bottom, go to wallpapers, okay, and simply browse and find gorgeous video wallpapers. Some of them are going to be paid, many of them are free. So what you can do is, for example, if I tap over here and if I say video and search, a bunch of video wallpaper is going to show up. Here's one example right here. It's a waterfall video wallpaper. You just download and apply. Only thing you want to look for is at the bottom corner of the actual wallpaper preview screen, it's going to say video. That way you know it is a video wallpaper. And of course, if it's free, you can just download that for free. And you can even preview the wallpaper before you actually download it. Okay? It's all going to be up to you. Once you download these video wallpapers, you pinch the screen, you go to wallpaper and style, you tap on browse my wallpapers, and swiping all the way at the bottom, you're going to see them right here under downloaded. You click on these and you can access your video wallpapers here. Even here at the bottom corner, it's going to say video. As you can see, you can always click on it to quickly preview it to see exactly what it's going to look like on your screen. Fantastic. Let's move on. Now, one more thing that I like to do that's very important for me is when I pick a wallpaper, let me just go to my wallpapers here. Let's pick a nice wallpaper. Let's just say this one, the city wallpaper right here. I'm going to do it for the home screen only. Okay. I'm going to tap on preview. It shows me what it's going to look like. I click on done. Now that's going to be my home screen wallpaper when I go back. What I like to do is when I unlock my phone like this, I like to see the wallpaper right away. Many people have it this way. They have this. Let's put a widget up here real quick. They have a clock. They have a bunch of applications, and the wallpaper is in the background. You can't really see it, and if it's gorgeous, maybe you want to see it. So what I like to do is I like to pinch the screen, create an empty home screen, okay? Set the wallpaper, and then pinch the screen again and tap this little home icon on the top. That makes sure your home screen is actually the wallpaper. So look, if I were to go to any other screen, when I tap home, it goes back to that home screen. Or if I unlock my phone, by default, it goes to the home screen. Now, if you don't like this, you can always go back here, pinch this, and make this your home. Okay? So now when I lock the phone and unlock it, it is going to go to that home screen. So you can have any screen as your main home screen. I like to have it so it points directly to the wallpaper. Now the next thing I like to do is I like to customize my lock screen. So lock screen customization is pretty amazing. There's a couple ways to get it done. The best way is simply to go to the settings, scroll down, go to the lock screen, and start the modification process from here. So you see you have a lock screen and a widget screen. So I'm going to tap on the edit button, which brings the editing options for the lock screen. One thing I like to do immediately is at the bottom it says contact information. I just tap a signature there, okay? So I can actually have my own SAKITECH right there. So when I tap on done and go to the actual lock screen, it says SAKITECH at the bottom. It's just a way of customizing your phone. Now if you don't want it, you can get rid of it. So settings, lock screen, edit, you can actually remove it as you can see, or you can tap on plus to actually add it. It's going to be up to you. Another thing you can do is you can tap on the clock icon here and you can pick a custom clock. Okay, so great ways to customize your home screen. You can also change the size as you can see, which is great. Okay, I can make it small, large. I can pick different fonts for the actual clock, and I can change the color of the clock. So you can fully customize that lock screen and make it look the way you want it. Tap on done and then you can go out and you can see what it looks like. Okay, couple more things you can do. Go to settings, lock screen. You can see there's also a widgets option here, which is actually very important. So there's a hidden widgets menu here in the lock screen. When you click on the actual clock, you can access a bunch of widgets. Right now, I have a voice widget, as you can see. So other options you have here is, let's go back to lock screen, tap on widgets. I can enable weather, today's schedule, next alarm, and all that stuff. And I can reorder them. So if I want the weather on the top, it can be on the top. Okay, you can move them, as you can see, wherever you want them. And then, now when I go back to the lock screen, tap over here, I have access to 4 widgets. The weather, today's events, alarms if any, and my voice recorder that I can use right from here, which I think is a fantastic tool. Alrighty, so that's that. Let's move on. Alright guys, so that brings us to the end of this video, and I hope you guys learned something new. If you do have any questions, comments, or concerns, drop them down below, let me know. For now guys, have a fantastic day.